Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into July 6th. Friendly reminder, the markets are closed on Monday for the 4th of July. So for you Americans out there that watch these videos, hey, happy Independence Day. This will be the top 10 based around technical analysis. So if you're somebody that uses charts, or maybe you're just somebody that wants to learn more about charts, how you can use them to better formulate and make decisions within the market as a trader, then this will be a video for you. And on that note, if you do enjoy what you see as you go through the video and you're wanting to learn more about charts, how I use charts, how they can be used, how they should be used, then I do offer a live class that'll be this Thursday. It's completely free. It is actually live. So if you're interested, like I said, in liking what you see as you go through the video and you're thinking that charts could be a nice little additional tool to your trader tool belt, then I want you to get signed up. You can click on the link down below in the description box, or if you're at the site, there's plenty of other areas around the video that you can click. But just keep that in mind as you watch the video. If you like what you hear, then definitely consider attending this live free class. The first stock here, ticker symbol AMC, and a very rough start to the day, but you got to give credit where credit's due, and this is what makes it a very interesting setup here headed into next week, is the fact that after the price dropping all the way down here, there was another pullback, but it only got that low. There was another pullback late day, only got that low, meaning you have, and if you envision those lows as stair steps, you have some nice upward stair steps that were constructed. On top of that, it was a nice sign of strength that the price in the last 30 minutes, represented by that green candle right there, you can see was actually able to get up above and close above the green line there at 51.50. So that was a very important level of support. And for the majority of the day, the price spent its time down below the support level. So at that point, from a technical point of view, not looking so good. But again, as I just pointed out, combining the fact that it did build those higher stair steps, it was actually able to close back above that area of support. So technically speaking, 51.50 is holding strong. It is still going to be that main area of support, so continue to watch that. If the price does continue to bounce back upwards, then for those of you longer time viewers of the top 10, you know what I'm going to talk about next. As far as any sort of bounce, it's still all about that trend line right there and whether or not the price can break above it and most importantly stay above it. But let's just first see if the price can continue to bounce or not. I am going to add in one more area of support here just in case there is some sort of movement back to the downside. So if 51.50 and the price ultimately drops back below it, the next key area that stands out to me at least would be right there around 48.75. But yeah, all things considered, with how rough the day started off, nice little recovery. Not just a question of can the price continue to build upon this bounce next week. Let's see what happens. Next one here, ticker symbol SPCE, a savage way to end the week for some. I mean, in technical jargon, a good old-fashioned gap and trap. What do I mean by that if you're new? Well, on Thursday, the price closed right there. This morning opened all the way up there. Huge gap up, but then you can see the opening bell rang. The price got up that high, and I think some poor souls were buying right there. They're not going to have a good 4th of July weekend because from there, it was just basically straight down. So a gap and trap on the day, which is now setting up a level that shorts and longs and everybody in between is going to be watching. And that area sits down here at the $43 mark. Taking a quick trip through memory lane here, you can see 43. To give credit where credit's due, does have quite a bit of support. So whenever the price has been down around that area, people have shown up to throw in bids and to buy. But the point here being is if the price does make another push down there and breaks down through 43, then that could certainly spur on additional selling pressure. But you got to keep in mind that if you are somebody that likes to go short, don't get too overboard because not that far below the 43 mark, you do have the pink line there, the 200 period moving average, which doesn't guarantee anything, but it certainly makes it a more than valid and rational thought that, yeah, that level could provide support and ultimately could provide a bounce point. But there's no doubt about it. The downwards momentum has very clearly showed up today. But the big question mark now just going into next week is this downwards momentum enough to actually push it down through these areas of support? We'll see what happens with it on Tuesday. Next one here, ticker symbol MRIN. Talked about this one in previous video, and once again, the uptrend continues. So much so that I'm just going to go ahead and delete all these annotations out. Sure, they still pertain, but from a presentation standpoint, where I sit, I'm trying to keep this as clean and simplified as possible, and having lines everywhere. I just don't want to risk causing confusion because there's clutter everywhere you look. But as far as just a good old-fashioned trend building perspective, this one just is doing everything right. Now, there is a matter of perspective, meaning if you're a day trader and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 10 minutes, okay, from that perspective, things are not looking so good because there was a bigger pullback today. There's no doubt about that. However, taking a step back and looking at multiple days, the chart is literally doing nothing wrong. Just like AMC, just except on a bigger extent. You look at where these lows have been, and these lows just keep getting higher and higher. You envision those as stair steps, and that is the name of the game. So again, assuming you care about the big picture point of view and the overall trend, as long as the price keeps on putting those higher lows, that is what matters most. So yes, it did pull back from the highs, but as you just saw, still plenty of opportunity to ultimately build the higher base, and then therefore that would continue with the overall uptrend. As far as key levels of resistance, the main level here that I think a whole lot of people are going to be watching, and rightfully so, right there at 22.50. You can see, yeah, at the opening 30 minutes, the price did actually break up above it, but after that, the price could never just quite get above it. So that is going to be an area that, you know, it's not guaranteed, but valid to think that if the price can push back above 22.50, that break could create quite a bit of upwards buying pressure. But yeah, overall, the uptrend continues. Next one here, ticker symbol BLIN, and you really couldn't have drawn up a better close to the day, to the week. I mean, just to illustrate this, let me put this little trend line here in place, and you can see that all day long the price was struggling with that area, but then again, the last 30 minutes, nice solid volume came in and got the push up above that level. So from a technical jargon point of view, a breakout has occurred. So because the technical breakout has played out, that brings about the very valid question of, well, can there be more continuation? And I should note that actually, as I look up, as I'm doing this video in after hours, this thing is up at $10 right now. Now, it's very tricky because we still have all of after hours today on Friday, and then on Tuesday, you have all of pre-market. So where is this ultimately going to open up? I don't know, but as of right now, the price has gotten just that much more continuation and is actually up above $10. But that stays, you know, right in line with the big question is, yeah, the breakout has occurred. Is it going to get more momentum? As of right now, at the recording of this video, as it's sitting up at $10, yeah, it seems like it's got more momentum. Now, does that momentum last? We'll just have to see where it ultimately opens up on Tuesday. If there are any sort of pullbacks, then that main area of support that now stands out quite a bit right there around 675. But yeah, given the context of things right now with the breakout, with the after hours action, we'll have to see how things go. But yeah, it seems as though the momentum is very much so in the bulls' favor right now. Next one here, venturing again down into the world of penny stocks. Talked about this penny stock in the previous top 10, but EEENF, that is 3 E's, NF. And once again, the uptrend continues. So almost looking like MRIN here, or MRIN, and the volume remains nice and strong, which is, you know, in the world of penny stocks, always important because you don't want to get stuck in some sort of liquidity trap. But as of now, like I said, higher highs and higher lows, and that is the name of the game. So first thing I'm going to do now is just actually adjust this area up to what seems to be the next key battleground moving forward, right up there at 0.035, and nothing fancy behind that logic at all, other than the fact that that's just simply where the momentum finally stopped today. So keep an eye on 0.035 moving forward from the resistance side of things. As far as supports are concerned, now the newest ideal level right there at 0.029. Ideal meaning for Ask Clay, you know, what would make this chart look the absolute best moving forward? Definitely if the price can stay above 0.029. Now, don't get me wrong, if the price falls below it, doesn't mean the chart's destroyed or anything. But yeah, if it can stay above that area, that would be a great sign of power. But again, just to reference MRIN, same exact thing. This thing continues to put in those higher lows, and it continues to put in higher highs. So from a trend building perspective, that is exactly what you want to see. So assuming you're not a flipper that bought right there and wanted to buy and sell within 5 minutes, then everything else for all other perspectives looks perfectly fine as the trend continues. So let's see how this one plays out next week. Next one here, ticker symbol OPTT. And like this one, first off, just because, well, yeah, there is a whole bunch of life that came into it today, visualized and symbolized by that volume down there. And then we have a nice little technical pattern here. So the first part of this pattern is just this resistance trend line right here. The other part of the pattern is going to be the support trend line right there. And just because I'm kind of obsessive about stuff like that, are you going to do this to me too? What's up with after hours right now? I'll explain that in a second, but let me actually change this to green too. I don't like when the potential presentation changes quite a bit, but it is what it is. But overall, what we would have here from a technical pattern perspective, let me put this down there. And then for you visual people, for you golfers, put the golf hole down there. What we have is a bull pennant formation that has, formed. And the question now going into next week is, okay, who is ultimately going to win out? But as I talk, let me bring down the after hours right now. This thing has now gotten up to $3.15. So it seems as though that this breakout has already happened. But again, It's tricky because we still have all after hours today, have all of pre-market on Tuesday. So is this breakout going to last and maintain itself? That remains to be seen. But the point here being is it's looking like potentially it's already going to be broken out by the time Tuesday opens up. Another way to measure, the health of the breakout or strength as well, if the price can then get up there and break up through $3.30, that would be a very, very impressive sign of strength. But overall, like I said, I like the setup going in, hence the top 10. But to think that it's already breaking out after hours, that's just kind of how things go. But like I said, let's see where it actually opens up on Tuesday. Next one here, ticker symbol SQBG. And this is definitely a pullback play, meaning, and really the question that you'll have to answer is, do you believe in the pullback? Or do you believe that this pullback is about to turn into just a full-blown reversal? Because the nice thing here is this one has shown it can move, and it can move fast, and it can move big. But yeah, as of now, they closed out the day with quite a bit of a downwards move. But like I said, if you think this is just a temporary pullback before it consolidates out, then a very interesting area to keep an eye on would be down there right around $13.50, which from the overall standpoint would still have the chart looking very, very healthy. And I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but if the price came down to $13.50, behave like that, and then sort of curl back upwards, I mean, even from the overarching standpoint, going back to the theme of stair steps, you'd still have lows there. You'd have lows there, you'd have lows there. You envision those, like I said, as stair steps. And from the big picture point of view, you still have stair steps. Again, perspective matters. People that were day traders and bought right there, yeah, they're having a very bad 4th of July weekend here. But assuming you do care about the big picture of things, like I said, the price does still have the opportunity to chip away and build a higher base. Or if you're not in it yet, but you like to play some pullbacks here, well, we have quite the opportunity for potentially a pullback. And even if it doesn't go back up to the highs, I mean, even to go from here, even halfway up, that's still a very nice trade relative to the risk. So we'll see how this one goes on Tuesday. Next one here is my little golden goose, TSLA Tesla. Almost trade this one every day. And after today's price movement, I mean, crazy opening 30 minutes. Went up there and got rejected literally right off of $700. So yeah, 700 going to be that main area of resistance. But the level that stands out to me, and I think a whole lot of other people, so this is not some sort of great discovery on my part, but check out that level at 673. 673 provided support back on Thursday, provided support once again right there. So 673 definitely going to be a level that longs and shorts and everybody else is going to be wondering if it gets tested again and the price is within striking distance, can it hold? If it fails, then the next key level that everybody's eyes are going to turn to is right down there at about 668, which again, going through the history of things, you can see has a track record of providing support. But at the core, the moral of the story here is, in my opinion at least, most people are going to be wondering and watching about these two areas of support. And I know I will be. But again, this is not some sort of great discovery on my part. And I say that and I emphasize that because when lots of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movements. And then as far as levels of resistance are concerned, from more of the overarching standpoint, very curious about that trend line right there, which has done a very impressive, so here are the power of charts. By using those two data points, check out how it did a fantastic job of forecasting those areas of resistance. So keep an eye on that trend line. But in my opinion, at least, the most pressing, I think, dynamic is going to be whether or not these levels of support can hold. Next one here, ticker symbol CTXR, and this is purely a panic play, meaning it's quite apparent now that there are a lot of people out there freaking out and panicking, and I don't blame them to think that this thing was, broke out, got up to basically 450, and now just a few days later, all the way down there, right around the $2 mark, and very recently, this thing is, almost been going straight down. So the question becomes, okay, where could this panic potentially end? Where could the final capitulation point go where all the sellers get out and this thing is ready to potentially turn itself back around? And we do have to squeeze down the chart here quite a bit. But as far as next potential areas where I think a lot of people will be watching, right down there around that $1.90 mark. If you want a little bit more potential, well then after $1.90, if you're like, I don't know, I'd like to see a little bit more panic set in. The next key level of support after that would be down there right around the $1.70 mark. But these couple of areas do have some, track record of the price bouncing from them before. Again, does that mean that it's guaranteed to bounce? Of course not. But are these just random areas to be thinking about buying and thinking about the price could bounce? Absolutely not, because it's bounced from those areas before. Doesn't mean that it'll happen again, but it's certainly not a random area. But the key dynamic here, and what makes this interesting, is just how fast this thing has been going down. So at this point, or at some point, you got to think, and I'm not saying a full-blown reversal up there, but even if it's just a dead cat that, dead cat bounce that even just goes up to right there before rolling back over. I mean, that amount right there could be a very, very nice profitable trade. So like I said, if you do enjoy kind of these panic things where there's a lot of people freaking out and you're trying to, buy from those panicking and then getting the dead cat bounce or even a bigger reversal, then yeah, keep an eye on this one. Next one here, ticker symbol DIDI, IPO'd a few days ago, and I had zero plans of doing this one, but knowing the track record so far, the track record of being, this thing can move. This thing can move multiple dollars, and when it's down in this price range, that adds up quite a bit. But like I said, I didn't have any plans of doing this, and then the last 30 minutes happened, and you can see good solid green candle here. Does it mean anything? Maybe not, but it was enough to catch my attention and say, well, good solid final 30 minutes. This one is proved. It's got big ranges. It can move quick. So no, maybe, just maybe, if this is, some sort of leading indicator of a bigger move to come, let's keep an eyeball on it. And to me, the main area of resistance to keep an eye on going to be right up there at the 1585 mark. Again, as I've said, no guarantees, but given the track record of this and seeing that how this was a former area of support, that's now acting as resistance. If the price can continue on up and get the break up through there, then, realistically speaking, not guaranteed, but I don't think anybody would be shocked to see it at least then go up there and retest the former area of resistance right up there around $16.90. So again, no guarantees, but if it can break through there, it's definitely got some wiggle room before it would, come upon, that next key battleground. So keep an eye on that dynamic right there. And then as far as supports are concerned, maybe you're more of a trendline player. Now a very well, in fact, let me change that to green to represent more of a bullish attribute. Keep an eye on that trend line right there from the support side of things. So we'll see if this final 30 minutes means anything or not. It may not. Maybe it'll just fizzle and crash down through the trend line. That's always possible too. But it is also possible that maybe it gets up there and then makes another move up to that $17 mark. So we'll see what happens with it next week. So that wraps up the top 10. And again, just as a reminder and as a personal invitation to you, if you enjoyed what you just heard, if you are seeing some of the practical power, the practical usefulness of technical analysis and charts as a tool in your trader tool belt and want to learn more, like I said, my philosophy for them, how I use them, how I believe they should be used in order to build consistency, then like I said, get signed up for this class. It will be this Thursday, July 8th, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So just keep that in mind. 7 p.m. Eastern time is when it'll be. So like I said, click the link down below if you're watching on YouTube in the description box, or if you're watching at the claytrader.com itself, there's plenty of other areas you can click to sign up. But yeah, like I said, I'm personally inviting you. Would love to. I'm always excited to talk about people about technical charts because I'm totally a technical trader, and everybody that I can help see the value of technical analysis, I think that's a good victory and a good win-win deal for everybody. And then as far as this video is concerned, if you do enjoy these top 10 videos and if you would like me to continue to make them, then two things that you can do to just communicate that to me very easily. Hit that like button, leave a basic comment. It could be a smiley face emoji, but hitting the like button, leaving a comment, those two things go a long way. And as long as I know that there's interest in these videos, I will keep on making them. But yes, again, if you want to learn more about charts and technical analysis, then definitely get signed up for the class. And I hope to see you on Thursday. But everybody have a fantastic 4th of July weekend.